What's up YouTube, this is the best from MobileStrats.com, and today I'm coming at you with some Redungeon tips and strategies. If you haven't seen my other videos, I maxed out all of the characters, so if you're not sure which one to pick, you can click on the link below, and there'll be a playlist with all of the characters with their max powers and just gameplay, just so you can see which characters are good and which ones are bad. And let's just get started with the tips right away. Tip number 1 is slow down. And this might be really obvious, but this is incredibly important. Most of my deaths and most of the other people's deaths that I've seen are from going way too fast. The darkness isn't your main enemy. The darkness might start catching up if you come up to a trap that you just don't have an option of passing by quickly. But for most traps, you can wait. You can see how the trap is going. You can see how you can avoid it. You can see if there's a pattern. You can see what the pattern is. All of the traps have patterns, and then you can just blow past that pattern. If you don't slow down, you're going to die a lot. So just slow down at least a tiny bit. Force yourself to slow down, and you'll find yourself playing better than ever. Tip number 2, decide if you're going for a high score or trying to get as many coins as possible. This is important because if you're going for a high score, then I just usually say just ignore the coins, ignore the chest, just focus on stepping forward, because that's how the high score goes up. Each step you take forward, or well, not each step, but every time you get ahead by 1 meter, 1 step, your high score goes up. Now you can't go back and forth, like backwards and forwards, and increase it, but you just have to keep moving forwards. So ignore the coins, you'll get some of them anyway, but some chests or some coins might distract you and the darkness might catch up or something like that, so just go ahead. And if you're going for coins, it's probably better to just ignore gold coins because they're not worth as much and try to get to about 200 meters or 300 meters or even 100, because I think that's when the blue coins start. And try to get the chests, the blue, red, and the green coins, because they're worth way more than yellow and they're way better. Tip number 3, figure out which controls work best for you. The game has 2 control options, and I prefer the on-screen controls. You can either swipe on the screen to move once in the direction of your swipe, or you can use the on-screen controls. And I believe that the on-screen controls are better, and this is why. If you're using the Duke Kazan or something like that, and you're trying to fly up really quickly as a bat, you can use two fingers, you can use 2 of your thumbs, and keep pressing the up button constantly. You can't swipe that quickly, you can tap really quickly, you can't swipe that quickly, the game won't register it. And you can also press the left arrow and the right arrow if you need to avoid obstacles while flying. You can't do that if you're swiping, you only have the option of going up, left, right, or down. You can't swipe diagonal, that's not how the game works. But in this case, you can go up and left, left and up without really... It's just easier to use actual, like, tapping instead of swiping. 1, you're using 2 thumbs, and 2, it's just faster. Try both of them out, but I recommend trying the on-screen buttons first because that's more effective. Tip number 4, pick 1 character and stick with them. If you're free to play like most players are, you will not be able to buy all the characters unless you grind it out forever. You will be able to buy 1 character or buy 2 characters and upgrade them to the max, but you do have to be choosy because you're not going to be able to buy all of them. And read through the characters guide to figure out which ones to focus on, or just watch all my videos on this channel, or just read the characters guide on MobileStrats.com. But if you don't want to do that, either upgrade Sir Gilbard to the max, or buy Duke Kazan and upgrade him to the max. I also recommend Vesna if you're one of those players who's always hurrying, because you can slow down your game a ton with Vesna. You don't have to hurry at all. So either Sir Gilbard, Duke Kazan, or Vesna. Tip number 5, watch ads for coins. If you go into the shop and you see the ad buttons, you can watch ads continuously for 50, 100, or 150 coins per ad. It depends on your level. And if you're not completely against ads, do it, because that's the quickest way to do coins and buy new characters, and that's great. Tip number 6, don't use continues unless you're going for a high score. So if you're trying to get coins, don't use it, it's a waste. Don't ever waste 100 coins on it, because you're probably not going to get the 100 coins back by playing. The video is better if you're trying to go for a high score, but I mean, still, it's probably not worth it unless you're going broke, you're just trying to get as far as possible on this one try. Tip number 7, figure out how to deal with each trap using your character. There are different traps in the game, and if you play enough, or you play through 5 to 10 games, you'll see that most of them repeat. So if you know how to deal with all of the traps using your character, you're set. And obviously there'll be some traps that you're weak against and some traps you're good with, So for example, me, I'm personally, I struggle with the trap where they have the crossbows on two sides firing towards the wall, and there's just one area where you can walk, and they have spider webs there. I struggle with that, so I usually use the Duke Kazan and just fly over it because it's much faster. But then I'm really good with the areas with the spikes and the other areas. I'm fine with that. So just figure out what your issues are and try to either find the character to complement that to make that easier. Like if you die often because you fall off the map, then buy the Duke Kazan, because when he's max upgraded, you can fall off the map twice and still keep playing. Or if most of your deaths are from hurrying, then use Vesna, or Spring and Russian. So just figure it out, and that will make hard traps easy. So I hope those tips I cannot talk today. I hope these tips help you guys. Wow.